Hi guys, and welcome to Mobility 1 of this 10-day program. Now we're going to get straight into it. I just want to remind you that today is about really gently moving the body, listening to the body and meeting ourselves where we're at. This might be the first time that you've done any movement for a really long time, and we're just going to start moving the bits that get really tight when we're mums. The upper back, the shoulders, the hips, the spine. It's supposed to feel really, really good. It's not going to kill you. It is going to get harder over the next 10 days, but today is just a gentle workout to ease us into it. So let's get started. Okay, so coming into all fours. This first bit's always a little bit awkward as I ease into coaching a camera. We're going to put our hands underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips, and make sure that your knees aren't together. Okay, a little bit of a gap in between each. And we're just going to start with a really humble cat-cow. Okay, you'll be really familiar with this movement, probably from yoga and things like that, maybe Pilates. So just rounding the back as far as you can. If you've got back pain, then you might not be able to arch very far this way. So just hanging out where it feels good for you. Don't push it. Okay, so just arching the back as far as you can, sticking your bum out, lifting your head, and then tucking your head under and tucking your bum under. Try to feel as much of a stretch down your back as you can, pushing the floor away. Lifting your head up and taking a big breath in, sticking your bum out and dropping your belly down. And then as you breathe out, you're tucking your bum, the tummy comes in a little bit, you breathe out and tuck the head under. So a couple more with the breath here, lifting our head up, sticking the bum out, wiggle around there a little bit, and then rounding the back, breathing out, tucking the bum under, squeezing the bum a little bit, and pulling the belly in. Okay, just a couple more. Awesome. Okay, sitting back on your feet, I'm going to just warm the wrists up a little bit. A lot of us get really tight wrists as mums, so just making circles with your wrists like this, just going around outside, just like warming up starting to get some heat into the joint, and then going inwards. Okay, just getting that moving a little bit, and I'm just going to go back and forth, just like this. Okay, it's so important to give the wrists some TLC if they're a bit sore. We don't just want to leave them and do nothing. They do need a little bit of movement, they need a bit of stretching, they need a bit of strengthening. Okay, so then we're just going to stretch them out just a little bit like this by straightening an elbow and pulling the hand back with the opposite arm, and just dynamic, going back and forth. And again, if you're really sore, then just go where you can. It'll improve over time. And one final wrist warm up we're going to do is coming back onto all fours. We're going to turn our wrists backwards and then just rock back and forth. Okay, so as we rock back, keeping those elbows straight, we're going to feel a stretch down in the front of our wrists here, and probably in the back of our elbow as well. Okay, and then just rocking out of it and rocking back and forth like this. Okay, we're going to do 5 more pulses like this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool. Just give them a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a rest. We're going to do our last exercise on all fours. This is to start to release the upper back muscles and the muscles in between the scapula. We're going to do some scapular push-ups. So this is quite a tricky one. You're going to try and bring your scapula together. You'll feel your shoulder, your arm go up in your shoulder joint, and bring your chest closer to the floor, but without bending the elbows, okay? Elbows stay completely locked out. And then you're going to press the floor away, and you're going to try and push your back through your chest, okay? So the shoulder blades are going to come together at the back, and then you're going to push them apart. Okay, they're going to come together, kind of pinch at the back, and then you're going to push them apart. So if I show you from behind here, you're going to kind of come together like this, and then you're going to push them apart. Bring them together like this, and then push them apart. Just a couple more here. You might find that you're not able to make very much movement here, or you just want to bend your elbows. That's okay, this takes a lot of practice. These muscles get super duper tight and sore, so we just want to start getting some movement in those joints. Okay, last one, and then we're going to stand up. And we're just going to do a few shoulder circles. I'm going to start warming up the shoulder. This is a joint, the shoulder is a joint that needs a lot of attention, okay? Upper back, shoulder, neck is all connected. We spend a lot of time as mums hunched over like this, holding babies, holding toddlers, and these shoulders get super duper tight. So first of all, just bringing some heat into those shoulders, take them forward. Just making as big circles as you can, hunching the shoulders all the way up, bringing them forward. And one more time back. Okay, just so that you're bringing some heat and some movement into that joint before we stretch it out. And then using a wall, I always get made fun of for how I say wall with my accent. Using a wall, you're going to put your hands about shoulder height, and you want your feet back about a bit further than arm length. Okay, from here you're gonna stick your bum out. Okay, so you're gonna kind of arch your back, and then you're gonna push your chest towards the floor. Pushing your chest towards the floor and trying to stretch out this shoulder joint, okay? You can bounce around here a little bit. Now don't have your back rounded and your bum tucked under. Really try and stick your bum out and stretch and find that stretch in your shoulders. Now if you've got super flexible shoulders like me, you might need to have your hands higher up to feel that stretch. But if you're really tight in the shoulders, you might really feel the stretch here, and that's totally fine. So find what suits you. We're going to do 5 more pulses, kind of standing up, and then sticking our bum out. 1, sticking our bum out, finding the stretch. 2, and then coming back out of it. 3, finding that stretch. 4, and 5. And then we're going to go into a roll down. Let's just check the time. Okay, so just tucking our chin, just start warming up our spine. Tucking our chin, feeling the stretch in the back of the neck, and letting the shoulders fall in. We're going to go 1 vertebrae at a time, feeling that stretch move further and further and further down your back. Okay, and wherever you get stuck, wherever's your limit, just hang out there for a second. And then we're going to tuck our bum, round our back, go back up 1 vertebrae at a time, head last. Okay, we're going to do that a couple more times. Roll down, feeling 1 vertebrae at a time. You can close your eyes if you want to and feel that stretch move to different places down your back. Maybe that it moves into the back of your legs and into your, or in the back of your knees. And I'm going to roll back up 1 vertebrae at a time, tucking the bum first, head last, making sure you're finishing with your rib cage over your pelvis. And then 1 more time, head first, shoulders in, 1 vertebrae at a time. Just make sure you're continuing to breathe. Don't hold your breath. And then when you get to the bottom, wherever that is, just grab hold of your elbows. Just let your head be heavy, let your upper body be heavy, and just take a few breaths. Breathing into the belly, breathing out, just letting go. Breathe in, and just as you breathe out, just let go of anything that you're like clenching onto. 1 more breath in, and breathe out. And that last time, rolling back up, squeezing the bum, rolling up 1 vertebrae at a time, shoulders, and then the head. Okay, coming back into a seating position, we're going to start to move our hips, start to mobilize this joint. Just wiggle them around a little bit. Start to get some movement in that hip. And then what we're going to do is keep both your tailbones down on the floor, so don't lift your bum up as you flip from side to side. Keep both your tailbones down and keep rotating those knees in. Okay, so you'll feel this weird stretch around this area. Trying not to lift the bum up, okay? Trying to stay square and feeling that weird stretch. Okay, we're going to do last 2 exercises. We're going to focus on the hip, the front and the back of the hip. Okay, we're going to come into kneeling, like we're proposing to someone. 90 degrees here in this knee, and then we're going to lean forward and stretch the front of the hip out. Now, what I don't want you to do is just flop forward like this. Okay, it's not doing anything. You want to tuck your bum under and just ease forward just slightly so you feel a stretch here. You won't have much range of motion there. Okay, so you feel a big stretch in here, right in the joint. You're going to lift your hand up, opposite hand up, if you can, and just feel that in here. Okay, and rock back and forth just a little bit. Switching legs. Again, tucking the bum and just easing forward just slightly, and then the hand joins it if you want it, but not just falling into it like this. Okay, tucking the bum. Okay, keeping that nice and tight. Okay, the last thing, the kind of pièce de résistance. Anyone who's ever worked with me knows that I'm completely obsessed with squats. So we're going to start to go into a squat. Now, some of you, a squat looks like this, a deep squat looks like this. Feet flat on the floor, finding the stance, the width in your stance that feels good for you. Some of you are just going to be able to go straight into that, and you're just going to be able to bounce around here a little bit and get your hands into like a prayer position, pushing your knees apart. Okay, some of you are going to be really, really stiff, and you're going to need to grab hold of something like a pole or a partner, like maybe grab your friend or a sturdy table, and just kind of ease into that as far as you can. You might be stuck here, okay, that's all right. Just wiggle around there, come back out of it, holding onto something to help you get in and out of it. And just try and get as deep as you can into it, okay? Don't worry, we're going to work on this a lot more over the next 2 mobility sessions. For now, that's it. That's our first session. That was mobility 1. I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow in strength 1.